Last week, someone cut me off in traffic. My brain said, "What a jerk." That same day I cut someone off by mistake. My brain said, "I was just in a hurry. It's fine." Same exact behavior. Completely different story. So what's going on there? Because my brain was doing something it does to every human on the planet every single day without asking permission. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Here's what you need to know right now. Your brain has 3 patterns it uses to explain blame. And the last one, the third one, is the one people almost never admit to having. These patterns aren't just about traffic. It's why you've probably walked away from an argument thinking they're just impossible and felt completely justified. It's why good people spend years feeling like a victim of everyone around them and never see their own role in it. It's why some relationships quietly fall apart not from one big moment but from 1,000 small misjudgments that nobody caught. All 3 patterns? Running in the background. Right now. Here's the first one. Hey, welcome. Really glad you're here. Today we're going into attribution theory, the science of why we blame. And here's the thing about this topic that I find genuinely unsettling. Your brain doesn't just use one pattern. It switches between 3 depending on whether you're the one doing the thing or the one watching. And one of them is probably the reason something in your life keeps repeating. You'll know which one when we get there. This one got under my skin when I first understood it. I think it'll do the same to you. What is attribution theory? Every time something happens, good, bad, confusing, painful, your brain immediately asks one thing: why? Why did my friend cancel on me? Why did I bomb that interview? Why did she say that? Why is he acting like this? Your brain cannot sit in uncertainty for long. It needs an answer. So it builds one fast, whether that answer is accurate or not. Those quick answers are called attributions. And they matter more than almost anything because they don't just explain the past. They decide how you feel right now and what you do next. Blame the wrong thing and you stay stuck. Understand the real cause and you can actually move. Now your brain has 2 directions it can point when it builds these explanations. The 2 types. Every attribution falls into one of 2 buckets. Type 1, internal attribution. Internal attribution means you point at the person, their character, their personality, who they are. Your roommate forgets to pay rent, he's just irresponsible. A friend goes quiet, she doesn't actually care. You nail a presentation, that's because I put in the work. Internal. Type 2, external attribution. External attribution means you point at the situation, the circumstances, the timing, what's happening around them. You forget to pay rent, that month was chaos. It slipped. You go quiet on a friend, I was going through something. It wasn't about her. You bomb a presentation, the tech crashed, the room was off. External. Now here's the thing your brain never tells you. Right now, without realizing it, it's already choosing between these 2. Automatically. Based on one factor you probably haven't thought about. That factor is the whole problem. The fundamental attribution error. There are 3 patterns where the brain gets attribution badly wrong. The first one is called the fundamental attribution error, and it might be the most consequential thing you never learned in school. Here's what it is. When we explain other people's behavior, we almost always overweight their character and underweight their situation. We assume people act the way they do because of who they are, not because of what they're going through. Here's the example. You're walking through a crowded place. Someone bumps into you, doesn't turn around, doesn't say a word, just keeps walking. Your brain says, rude, inconsiderate, self-absorbed. But what if that person just got a call saying their father collapsed? What if they're 3 hours into a panic attack? What if they genuinely didn't feel the bump? You didn't know any of that. But your brain already wrote their entire character in under 2 seconds. And the scary part? You trusted it. We do this constantly. With coworkers. With partners. With strangers online. Someone says something and we go straight to that's who they are, skipping over everything we can't see. Why? Because considering someone's situation takes energy. It takes empathy. It takes slowing down. Your brain is an efficiency engine, it takes the fast road. The cost is that you become unfair to people who are carrying things you can't see. They're just like that is almost never the whole story. The actor-observer bias. The second pattern is called the actor-observer bias, and this is exactly what was happening in my traffic story. When you are the actor, the one doing the thing, your brain explains your behavior externally. It points to the situation. I was in a rush. I was stressed. I didn't sleep. When you're the observer watching someone else, your brain explains their behavior internally. It points to character. They're reckless. They're careless. That's just who they are. Same behavior. Completely different explanation depending on whose shoes you're in. Think about the last real argument you had. In the moment, were you thinking about how your behavior looked? Or were you completely focused on everything they were doing wrong? That's not a personal failure. That's the bias working exactly as designed. Now the obvious fix sounds clean, just ask yourself what situation the other person might be in. But I'll be honest, in the actual moment, when you're hurt or angry, that's genuinely hard. Curiosity is the last thing your nervous system wants to offer. You won't do it every time. I don't. But the few times you do, even an hour after the fact, it changes how you carry it. It can dissolve something that would have sat in you for days. That's enough. You don't need a perfect record. Just occasionally. The self-serving bias. The third pattern is the one I mentioned at the start that people almost never admit to having. It's called the self-serving bias, and here's how it works. When things go well, your brain goes internal. Takes credit. I worked hard. I made smart calls. That's me. When things go wrong, your brain goes external. Deflects. The market. The timing. The people around me. The situation. I want you to do something with me for a second. Think about a relationship that went wrong. Not a small thing, a real one. A breakup. A friendship that collapsed. A working relationship that went sideways. Now think about the story you tell about it. Not the version you say out loud to people, the version you replay in your head. The one you've been living with. In that version, what does your role look like? Most people, if they're honest, will find they're mostly the reasonable one. The one who tried. The one who got let down. And maybe that's true. But the self-serving bias means there's a real chance you've quietly edited out the moments where you contributed. Where you shut down. Where you said something that landed wrong and didn't look back. That editing isn't malicious. It's automatic. Your brain is protecting you. But a story you edited to protect yourself is a story you cannot learn from. The people who actually break patterns instead of repeating them, they're willing to ask, what part of this is mine? Not as punishment. As information. There's a real difference. We started with a traffic story. Someone cuts me off, jerk. I cut someone off, understandable. That gap, that 2-second gap between how I judged them and how I judged myself, that's not a character flaw. That's just a brain doing exactly what it was built to do. But here's what changes now that you can see it. Next time it happens, and you'll feel that judgment rise. That automatic verdict, who they are, what they deserve, how this is their fault. And for just a second you'll catch it. Not every time. But sometimes. More than before. That 1 second before the verdict is worth more than you'd think. It's the difference between a relationship that compounds resentment and one that actually stays open. Between carrying a story that protects you and living one that changes you. 2 questions. Every time. When you're judging someone, what might be going on for them that I can't see? When something goes wrong for you, what part of this is actually mine? That's it. That's the whole thing. If you're someone who actually wants to understand how your mind works, not just read about it, but really use it, subscribe. That's exactly what this channel is for. And if something in this landed, the traffic thing, the story you replay, any of it hit like. It takes 2 seconds and it gets this in front of people who need it. One more thing, which of the 3 biases do you think runs strongest in you? Fundamental attribution error, actor-observer, or self-serving? Drop it in the comments. No judgment. Naming it is genuinely half the work. See you next week. Thanks for being here.